running out of ideas. I'm running out of ideas. What do I do?
Make a generic computer build video.
I don't know. The people, they need content. They need content. But what?
Make a generic computer build video.
I won't. I can't. It's too generic. I need original content, man.
Make a generic computer build video.
No! No, I can't. I won't.
So I finally broke down and we're doing one of those here's a computer for X amount of money videos that you've seen every other tech YouTuber do. So I guess I will go forth through the fire and the flames and run the gauntlet of precisely one of those videos. So the point of this computer and the build we're going to be showing off today is not the bottom of the barrel lowest computer you can build, but is definitely one that will get you into PC gaming at a relatively low budget. I would argue that it's one of the better bang for buck computers you can build. I'm sure there are ones roughly around this price that could perform a little better or a little cheaper and perform the same. One of the sacrifices you can make is replacing this case with a cheaper one or foregoing the RGB fans for more generic non-RGB case fans. That could save you anywhere from $20, $30, $40 depending on what you go with. That, if you're looking for pure performance and your budget is extra tight, I would recommend going that route, but since I'm going to end up selling this and I need it to look relatively okay for those Fortnite kiddos, then that's why we're going with this case and the RGB fans, and that's why the price is a little bit more. So the inspiration of this computer is actually coming from a video I did a couple weeks ago where we paired together the Xeon E3 1220 V2 and the RX 470 into a computer, or I guess into a system, to test how they went and showing that they're actually a pretty good pairing when it comes to gaming performance. So basically all this video is showing the bits and bobs that I would put together into a computer so you actually have some reference of what parts you could be looking for the system that I would recommend. With that said, computers are kind of a personalized thing, hence personalized computers, so some people might value some parts or some aspects over others, such as some people might not care about a cheap case, some people might want more storage, and some people might want just the best gaming performance they can get. So you can move the budget around here and there, but again, this is just my recommendation for people starting off getting into PC gaming with not a super large budget to work with. The first part is this Antec BP350. It is a 350 watt power supply. It's pretty generic. It's nothing special, but it will do us just fine. I've tested it with this system and there are no power issues. I've put it under the most intense load it will ever see and it still works perfectly fine. So that you can pick up for $25 or around that. I'm trying to give you the average price or the price you should be looking for these items, so $25 should do you just fine there. As far as storage goes, we're doing a very small 32 gigabyte SSD. They're pretty cheap. You can pick these up for like $10, $15. I'm going to say 15 just for argument's sake. And the reason I'm going with a 32 gig SSD and not 120 or 240 gig SSD is because I much prefer having a larger amount of storage for cheap that's a little bit slower for my games, like a 1 terabyte hard drive, versus trying to cram everything onto a 240 SSD for that slightly faster boot time. So we're going with a $15 SSD and then a $25 1 terabyte hard drive for our storage. So for the meat and potatoes of the computer, which is the motherboard, the CPU, and the RAM, I guess you could also argue that the GPU is a potato. Not really. We have two 4 gigabytes of RAM, DDR3, which is $25, and then you have the motherboard, which is about $45. I wouldn't recommend this specific motherboard, but you can find name brand LGA 1155 socket motherboards for about $45, and that's what I would recommend. And then you have the Xeon that's in here, which is a $20 4-core 4-thread CPU. So for all your gaming needs, you have your RX 470, which by no means is a super powerful graphics card, but is very, very competitive in that medium settings 1080p gaming performance. So an RX 470 used goes for about $60. One of the best graphics cards for the price, I would argue. A lot of other YouTubers will recommend this or the RX 570 because they're very similar in price. But yeah, picking up a cheap RX 470 like this one for $60 and you're good to go. And then to house all these beautiful materials, we have the Matrix 30, which I'm sure every single tech YouTuber has recommended at some point. It is a tempered glass case. It's micro ATX. It's very cheap at $40, and it's not horrible to work with. Again, I'm sure every single tech YouTuber has made a video on this, used this computer case. what have you, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. And then we have my pride and joy, my $20 cheap Chinese RGB fans. They use proprietary RGB connector hubs, which is kind of annoying, and it's a remote, it doesn't tie into your motherboard. But considering our motherboard doesn't have addressable RGB anyway, these are perfect. They're great for when you're flipping computers, making it that RGB goodness that everyone wants to see. So for 20 bucks, getting some spicy rainbow corn vomit. Wow.
Yes.
So for 20 bucks, getting that spicy unicorn vomit all over your computer, I guess it's worth the 20 bucks. So we're also doing these. So here it is, all built and ready to game away. It has its unicorn vomit going on, and it looks oh so nice. I'm sure I probably put the performance and the benchmarks and the little B-roll shots of it before this, so I'll really just kind of sum up what the computer is and then bid you adieu. Again, I would recommend, if you're building a computer that you think you're going to be like working off of for a while, upgrading it here and there and doing bits and pieces of, I wouldn't necessarily recommend this, because the motherboard and the CPU and the RAM and all that kind of stuff are going to be outdated rather quickly, and there's not really a good upgrade path for it. So really you're building this for a cheap way to get into it, a console replacement if a friend wants to get into PC gaming. Maybe you want to do a LAN party, that kind of thing. This computer would be perfect for, because it is just oh so cheap. I wouldn't recommend this if you were going to be that pure hardcore PC gamer. I'm sure if that is your aspiration, then you're not really looking into this. You're probably looking into much bigger and better things. So with that said, I'll try not to ramble on too much longer. If you liked the video and this computer gave you some rough idea of what you should build or inspired you to build a computer, then hit that like button. If you thought this was a horrible pairing and I have no idea what I'm doing, hit that dislike button. Also, hit the dislike button for that horrible cable management. I tried. I really did try. It does not reach through the back. It does not reach past the graphics card. It has to go right there. And I apologize. I'm sorry. If you want to see more of the PC flipping adventures, builds, guides, etc., it's becoming quite the list now. Hit that subscribe button. I'll try my best to keep you around. Without further ado, have a good day, guys.